Γεια σας, σας είναι ο Τζόναθαν εδώ και καλώς ήρθατε πίσω στο 14 Days With You. Πρωτού μπούμε στο παιχνίδι, παιδιά, θέλω να ζητήσω ένα μεγάλο συγγνώμη που δεν κατάφερα να ανεβάσω ένα βίντεο χτες. Είναι ότι χτες είχαμε, πώς το λένε, έναν καλεσμένο να μας φτιάξει λίγο κάτι στο σπίτι. Μετά εγώ με τη μαμά μου πήγαμε να κάνουμε κάποια ψώνια στο σούπερ μάρκετ και στο κρεοπωλείο. Και σήμερα είχαμε μια μεγάλη δουλειά, να πάω στο λαϊκή να πάρω κάτι πατάτες και σκόρδο, να πάρω μετά ψωμί, κουλούρι, να βάλω μια σκούπα, γιατί θα ερχόντουσαν κάποιοι να μας πάρουν το ψυγείο και την κουζίνα, γιατί αυτά, πώς το λένε, το ψυγείο και η κουζίνα έχουν χαλάσει και έπρεπε να πάρουμε ολοκένουρια και έχουν έρθει τα ολοκένουρια, απλά αυτές τις μέρες τώρα έχουμε φέρει απλώς καινούρια κουζίνα και καινούριο ψυγείο. Αυτό, συγνώμη. Άρχισε πολύ να μου έρθει στο μυαλό μου. Και πέρασα μια δύσκολη μέρα σήμερα, θέλω να πω. Και αύριο θα έχουμε μια δύσκολη μέρα, γιατί θα έρθει ο αδελφός μου με την αδελφή μου, ο αδελφός μου με το κοριτσι του εδώ για 3 μέρες. Οπότε έχουμε λίγη δουλίτσα να κάνουμε εδώ πέρα και να το περάσουμε αυτό το παιχνίδι όσο πιο γρήγορα μπορούμε μέχρι τώρα, δεν ξέρω πόσο. Αλλά ποιος ξέρει πόσες μέρες θέλουμε για να φτάσουμε μέχρι το τέλος αυτό εδώ. Έτσι κι αλλιώς είναι το demo, αλλά ας ελπίζουμε να τα καταφέρουμε. I actually like this anime too. I've recently started watching it because, well, I thought it looked interesting. Nah. He watches Attack on Giant? Well, now that I thought about it, it made a lot of sense. He definitely gave off Haruko vibes, and his oddly specific hairstyle and timed personality were proof of that. Then again, it really might have been a coincidence after all, but there was no harm in asking, right? Is that why you styled your hair like that? Because it honestly reminded me of one of the characters from it. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. Do you know him, Haruko? He's the girl who... Come on, Angel. Tone it down. This wasn't monthly. You were guessing to no one needed to see this green side of you. Although looking at Ren, he did seem to be interested in what I had to say. Okay. But then again, he was probably just being nice. Maybe it is just attending haircut or something, right? Sorry. I like Haruko too. He's very timed and sweet, isn't he? I guess that's why he's a fan favorite, huh? No. Do you normally go for guys like him? There's that switch in personality again. Was he always like this? I was beginning to think that it was more than just an act he was putting on. He's your type, right? Actually, I get a weird sense of deja vu from his words, and I found myself thinking back to the time when Moth asked me the very same question. And now that I thought about it, Ren definitely fit the description I gave them. He had Haruko's looks and personality, but also liked to dress in that cozy, soft academia aesthetic that I like. Cool. But my interests were ever changing and dependent on my hypocrites, so I could say for certain what my current type was. As if notice my far-off stare, Ren breaks the silence by talking once more. Oh, but you ask about my hair, right? I guess it does have something to do with Haruko, but at the same time, not really. I choose this hairstyle because of the other reasons. Well, that certainly was ominous. But before I could ask, I watched as Ren suddenly tries to mask a yawn by turning his head to the side while covering his mouth. It was enduring how he tried to pass it off as though he was simply looking around the room, but I knew better. Tired? I can go get your bed set up now. If you like, just give me a second to pull out the air mattress. It's fine. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be a bother. I can just sleep on the floor or something. I really don't mind, honest. But I have some flooring. Seriously, don't worry about it. I'll just be 2 seconds. I get up from my spot on the couch and make a beeline for my closest closet before he can respond. And yet I barely got 3 meters away before I could hear the heavy telltale footsteps of Ren following close behind me once more, almost like a lost puppy. Σαν ένα χαμένο κουταβάκι. Τι έχει πιάσει. It was honestly kind of cute. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I pull out my trusty air mattress from the closest and began setting it up in the lounge room. That is, until I found out that it had a massive gaping hole on the side. Those damn rats, I swear. If I had to move apartments, I'd take it in a heartbeat. But until then, I continued to spend complaint after complaint to that good-for-nothing landlord. Sorry. Really, I don't mind sleeping on the floor. And like I said, I have uncomfortable timber flooring, and unless you could. Ξέρεις, ναι, θα κοιμηθείς αν είναι στο... Ναι, να κοιμήσω αν είναι στο καναπέ. Δεν έχω πρόβλημα. Why didn't I think of that sooner? But no, I just had to go and embarrass myself by attempting to blow up an air mattress only to find out that it had holes in it because of rats. I'm going to be known as the rat baby now. I'll never be able to show my face. Yeah, the couch is fine, but I really don't mind sleeping on the floor, honest. Oh, he doesn't seem fazed about the rats after all. No, it's okay. I'm the one who's asking you to do this favor in the first place, so I owe you. After setting up some blankets and extra pillows from my room, I ran the way to the bathroom in case he needed to go and bid him good night. It was like my feet were on a thaw pellet as I returned to my bedroom. Suddenly shutting the floor, I awkwardly looked around my room as if I was the guest in my own house. It didn't feel awkward per se, but knowing that I had brought home a complete stranger still didn't sit right with me. But still, Ren showed no sign of wanting to murder me in my sleep, and Violet did meet him before he came inside. Nah. So maybe this wasn't so much of a bad idea after all. No, basically. I somehow felt safe in his presence, and even though we had just met, I felt like I could trust Ren enough to leave him untended in my room. With that though in mind, I slowly slipped underneath the covers of my bedsheets and eventually began to drift off. So Ren, I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Θα το μάθουμε αύριο όλο αυτό. End of day 1. The next day will soon begin. Would you like to save your progress? Warning. Will override any... Ναι, θα το σώσουμε, υποθέτω. Να πάμε στο επόμενο πρωί. Waking up to the sound of birds chirping outside and the sunlight fire through my blinds. I quickly rub my eyes before its middle, starting at the ceiling for a few moments. A lot of accurate last night, and I still needed to process most of it. But the main thing that played my mind was the stranger I let into my apartment last night. Was he still here? Υποθέτω πως ναι, τι ξέχασες τη μνήμη σου τι έγινε χτες? Ήσουν σε ένα τηλεφώνη, ήσουν με τον Ren, υποθέτω, πώς το ξέχασες τι έγινε χτες? Slipping out of bed, I smooth out his wiggles, or he wriggles in my pajamas to make myself look presentable before heading out into the hallway. I don't have to make it that far before I catch the familiar glimpse of pink in my vision, and I walk out to see Ren, already awake and neatly stuck in his pillows and blanket away. Morning, Angel. Sleep well? I don't think anyone came by last night, but your neighbor, she's kind of loud, isn't she? Ren must have heard her gaming away on her computer at 2 a.m. like usual. As if to apologize on her behave, I offer Ren a sympathetic smile before coming to help him move the pillow back into their rightful spot. Yeah, sorry about that. I usually don't mind since I'm also awake at that time, but I forgot that you'd be able to hear Violet from here as well. Oh, it's no trouble. It was odd to hear at first. She doesn't really give off that vibe, you know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. She isn't really the type to growl. Apparently Ren's stomach wanted to join in the conversation. Sheepishly he covered his mouth with the shelf of his sweater and turned away. But now that I was up close, I could make out the faint dark circles under his eyes, and immediately started to feel bad. So he was hungry, and he didn't get much sleep last night. I must have been a terrible host. Υποθέτω πως ναι, γιατί άμα ο άλλος κάνει φασαρία και εσύ δεν μπορείς να κοιμηθείς, λογικό ακούγεται να λέει ο άλλος, γιατί εκεί ήρθα εδώ πέρα από την αρχή και κοιμήθηκα. Είμαστε στη δεύτερη μέρα, υποθέτω. 14 μέρες. Το παιχνίδι, υποθέτω, είναι 14 μέρες, αλλά μέχρι στιγμής είναι το demo αυτό. I had to make up for this somehow. Sorry. I don't know why I made that noise. I'm not hungry or anything. Here, why don't I make us something to eat? Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. I wouldn't want to be bothered anyway. Actually, why don't we go out for breakfast instead? I think that cafe by the pub here is opened to the public now. We should check it out. A new cafe? Was he talking about the Driftwood Cafe? I wasn't even aware that it was open to the public yet. Still, taking him out for breakfast was the least I could do to show my gratitude. After all, Ren did make sure that no creeps broke into my apartment again, and he did it all without expressing anything in return. Yeah, sure. Let me get dressed, then I'll just be 2 seconds. Sure, okay, take your time, I'll wait here. Leaving Ren captured it yet again. I quickly dug back into my bedroom to change out of my pajamas. Okay. Αλλάξαμε τις πιτζάμες και τώρα είμαστε έτοιμοι να βγούμε έξω σε ένα πραγματικό ραντεβού. In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together, considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't that far from my apartment. Είναι κάπου που κοντά είναι η καφετέρια, okay. Turning to my side, I noticed how the pink-haired man tries to non-stop subtle sneak side glance towards me. The arm at his side practically inches to reach out, and if I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. But instead, he simply tucks his hands into his pockets and shoots me yet another soft smile. The weather really nice today, huh? Back to small talk, it seems. Sure is. If I had known I'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah. Yeah, we could go for a swim, or maybe even check out the rocks pools. It's been a while since we've been there. Oh, that does sound fun. How about Leon? Angel? At the sound of my name being called, I turned on my heels only to find Leon running up to me with a spot bag full of what I assumed to be his volleyball gear. Hey yo, Sunfish. Sunfish, it's good to see you out and about this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Jay and Teo. Did ya wanna tag along? And hey, it's Ron, right? Nice to see you again, buddy. Oh, it's Ren, actually. Sunfish? Oh yeah. Sunfish. It is cheesy nickname Leon gave me when we were kids. I don't really get it either, to be honest. So, Sunfish. And Ren, was it? Sorry about that, bud. I'm not too good with names, faces too sometimes. Η καλή μνήμη να θυμηθείς πως το λένε εκείνο τον τύπο. But hey, it's good to see you both again. Doing anything excited today? If not, you can tag along with me and Jeffish and I were Angelfish and I about to go on a date actually. Angelfish? A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arms closer to his side, nor the way he clings onto me as though I suddenly disappear. You're going on a date again, Darl? Good for you. I'm glad to see that you're coming out of a shell again. Take good care of them for me, won't ya, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? Like me, Leon barely seemed to notice Ren mumbling as he rests and arms over my shoulder and starts turning me in the direction of the beach. Ren, on the other hand, still launches onto my arms but doesn't seem to move. I can't believe my little Sunfish is out there in the dating sense again. I feel like I'm proudest, fast father. Sorry. Oh please. We're basically the same age. I feel like a proud adopted father. Leon pretended to wipe a tear away from his eyes as he leans further into my shoulder, and it was only then that I noticed Red wasn't following us. Turning around, I reached out to grab his hand instead to tug him along. He immediately seemed to perk up at the action and wise his fingers with mine before falling into step. Alright, as fun as it is to catch up with my proud adoptive father, who's the same age as me, which makes things kind of weird, Ren and I do need to get out going. Oh, yeah, of course. I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arms from around my shoulder and instantly his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands. If you wanna catch up some more, I'll be down at the beach with Tail. Oi! Speak of the devil. Almost like he appeared from the thin air. Theodore, or rather Theo, emerged from somewhere behind Leon and makes his way towards the three of us. Ναι, όλοι οι τρεις μας γίναμε πάλι εδώ. Though unlike most of my friends here in Calland, Rebbe, I actually met Theo in the city a few years ago, back when I used to live there. In fact, it was thought our mutual friend Jay. Apparently, they'd both know each other since the beginning of middle school, but even after graduating and moving on to university, the pair were still practically inseparable. According to Jay, Theo would always show up at campus to pay him a visit, though if I were being honest, I'm sure Theo only did it to diagnose some of the students and stuff here. It definitely wasn't out of the ordinary for him to do something like that. Plus, it offered me a lot more insight into the whole assertive yet non-call attitude he offered like to put on. The first time I'd ever witnessed it was when Theo found me sitting alone at a cafe. I still remember sitting there slack-jacked as he practically shoved my laptop back to the side before he sat down and took a sip of my drink like it was his own. The satisfied grin from seeing my displeasure said everything, and had he not offered to buy me another drink, I'm almost certain I would have told Theo to get lost and bother someone else. But before I can reminisce any further, I hear the sound of Theo's footsteps drawing closer, and it pulls me back to the present. Sorry. I watch as he walk up to us with a confident stride before he purposely bumped into Ren with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into the metal railing behind him. But luckily Ren manages to catch his footing at the last second, sending Theo an annoyed scowl of his own. Ah, shit. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how I missed such a bright-colored children's mascot. Alright, there's no need for that here. Despite Leon's tone, Theo barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Red instead. Let me guess, you're dressing up as Benny the Buttercup. My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Okay. Oi, knock it off, mate. What's your problem? Ο Στίνης ανάγλωσε ο τέτοιος εδώ. Don't know, what's yours? I could practically feel the tension between the two grown, so I decided to step in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you try glamoring each other to death. Theo, this is Ren. He's my, well, I'm their boyfriend. What? Well, that was certainly one way to put it, especially without bringing it up with me beforehand. Και αυτά που είπα, I'm their boyfriend, μου θυμίζει τώρα στο foster home for imaginary friends, τον Blue που είπε στην Frankie, I'm her boyfriend. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but the determination look on his face had me biting back my words. Oh, okay, anyway, this is Theo. He's... wait, how should I introduce him to Ren? He's my ex-boyfriend. He's just fling. I've never seen this man in my life. Τι στο καλό θα πει αυτό τώρα? His friend from the city. Ναι, θα πούμε αυτό. Ah, you consider us friends. That's real cute, darling. Are we not friends? You always used to show up and sit next to me whenever I'd visit that cafe near campus, which was weird because I never told anyone where I was going. Or maybe I wanted to say hi before visiting Godly. It's on my route to his university, you know. So he wanted to spend time with me before visiting Jay. How uncharacteristically thoughtful of him. Or maybe I was bored and wanted to see what someone with a lower class insurance does in their free time. Never fucking mind. Just kidding, doll. Besides, you're a bit too boring for my taste. I doubt you even be worth hiring a private investigator. Nah, υποθέτω. Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop this, yeah? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Ah, don't get your panties in the twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup capable of harming a fly, let alone able to throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here should drop you instead. Besides, the nickname is kind of cute, matches your style pretty well, don't you think, Buttercup? I could see Ren hand clench into a fist as he advanced towards Theo, but thankfully Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we all cool off, yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're gonna head down the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sends Theo a sharp glare. Are you sure you don't want to join us, Angel? I promise to make sure that Theo stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leon, but I've already made plans with Ren. Nah. And I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along. You know how Theo can get. Yeah, you've got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if he didn't want to other two events dropping. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come find me, okay? Ah well, thanks, Leon. I give his arm a soft squeeze and turn my attention back to Ren. By the way he looks at us, I can only assume that he didn't like how close I was standing to my childhood friend. Though that could have also been because Theo was still around and honestly couldn't blame him. Regardless, I reach for his hand once more and tug him towards the cafe, making a point of ignoring Theo's crass words as we went along. I barely notice how Ren's mood immediately changed when my attention is back on him, and he follow along like a lost puppy. Μιλάμε για κουτάπια τώρα δεξιά και αριστερά με τις συζητήσεις. we eventually arrive at the Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh parsley brewed coffee flooded my sense as it was through the open windows. And just as I had though, the cafe looked as thought it had only recently opened. Through it didn't seem as busy or crowded as I anticipated. Αλλά εγώ λέω να το τελειώσουμε μέχρι εδώ, υποθέτω. Λοιπόν, πήγαμε ραντεβού με τον Λοιπόν, τώρα είμαστε ραντεβού με τον Ρεν και ξαφνικά είδαμε τους παλιούς μας δύο φίλους που αυτοί ήθελαν να πάμε στην παραλία μαζί τους, αλλά εμείς είπαμε όχι, δεν έχουμε όρεξη τώρα γι' αυτό, είμαστε έξω σε ένα ραντεβού, υποθέτω, εγώ και ο Ρεν. Κάποια άλλη στιγμή θα πάμε να μιλήσουμε με σας, οκ. Ναι, κάπως έτσι. Αλλά ξαφνικά νιώθω λίγο χάλια για τον Ρεν που έπαιζε η γείτονά μου παιχνίδι και αυτός στις 2 το βράδυ δεν μπορούσε μάλλον να κοιμηθεί με όλες αυτές τις φωνές. Αλλά τέλος πάντων. Τι θα γίνει την επόμενη φορά που θα το ξαναπαίξουμε? Συνήθως αυτό το παίζω κάθε 2 εβδομάδες τώρα. Που σημαίνει ότι την επόμενη εβδομάδα τώρα πότε θα το ξαναπαίξω. Τώρα θα το παίξουμε κάπου στις 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Μία από αυτές τις 5 μέρες θα το παίξουμε τώρα, το επόμενο επεισόδιο. Ποιος ξέρει πότε. Αλλά τέλος πάντων, θα σταματήσω μέχρι εδώ. Μην ξεχάσετε να βάλετε μια εγγραφή και να αλλάξει αυτό το βίντεο, παιδιά. Και πάλι συγγνώμη που άργησα, που δεν έκανα βίντεο χτες, ήθελα να πω συγγνώμη. Αύριο θα ελπίσουμε να προλάβω ό,τι μπορέσω για αύριο, οκ. Ό,τι μπορέσω θα κάνω για αύριο. Και πάντοτε θα σας δω στο επόμενο βίντεο. Γεια σας!